Experimentation is my favorite moon in Lethal Company, and as someone who makes it a point to go here as many times as possible, I wanted to make a guide on how to navigate this map so you can also have a chill time playing on it. I don't plan on making a lot of guides since I'd much rather be playing the game, but if you want more guide content, then let me know in the comments below so I can refer you over to Bread's channel instead. So what should you expect when landing on Experimentation? You won't find the craziest scrap here, and there will only ever be 8 to 11 pieces of scrap on the map, not including the apparatus and beehives. But you also won't find a crazy amount of danger here either. Experimentation has a max indoor power level of 4, so once enough enemies spawn inside to reach that power level, no more enemies will spawn until you get rid of some of the existing ones. This is a good number to know because you can deduce what kind of dangers you'll encounter on your run based on what has already been revealed to you. So if you see a spider which has a power level of 2, you'll never see a bracken or a thumper on your run since they have a power level of 3. You'll also never see a second spider since they have a max spawn count of 1. So you should expect some combination of the other possible enemies, so long as that spider continues to live. The reason why Experimentation's interior is so safe is not only because of its low max indoor power level, but also because its most common spawns, the spider and the snare flea, can often just be left alone while you freely loot the rest of the interior. You can also kill most of the spawns with a shovel if you have to, and the ones that you can't kill are either harmless to begin with, or have such a rare spawn chance that you might as well consider yourself unlucky and go next when you encounter them. But the biggest reason why Experimentation's interior feels so safe is because it's the only moon in the game that has a 0% chance to spawn coil heads, which are easily the most oppressive enemy in the game. Experimentation's exterior is the most dangerous part of the map and has a max outdoor power level of 8, which is one of the highest max outdoor power levels out of all the moons. Prior to update 50, the only outdoor entities that could spawn on Experimentation were eyeless dogs and sandworms, but now old birds and forest keepers have been added with a low percent chance of spawning. But because of the moon's outdoor spawn chance curve, outdoor enemies won't start spawning until around 5 PM, and only notably so after 10 PM. And regardless of which entities you encounter, Experimentation offers a number of ways to play around them. Also, you'll never encounter a baboon hawk since they don't spawn here. So let's talk about the different ways to get back to the ship with your scrap and to avoid danger while doing so. Aw damn, I have to actually walk back to the ship to do this part. I didn't think it was far ahead. The first way back to the ship is best when it's early in the day and there are no enemies around. Just drop your scrap off the wall and carry it all the way to and from the ship. Just like this. And then you run. The second way is if you want to be fast while also having a fighting chance against the outdoor entities. You want to go over here, over to this ladder, jump down, and just make a mad dash over to this silo tile. I like this silo tile because it gives you a fighting chance against all the outdoor entities. One, against the sandworm, because you're immune to sandworm attacks as long as you're on this platform. You're not safe if you're on the staircase or if you're on the railing, but if you're on this platform, the sandworms cannot get to you. That said, if you are underneath and touching the floor, the sandworms can get you and will get you, even if you're directly underneath this. So, stay on top of here if you want to be safe from sandworms. You can also lure eyeless dogs up here on purpose, make them go up that staircase right there, and when they're up here you just jump down and make your way to the ship. You can do the same thing with forest keepers as well, lure them up there. Forest keepers, you can hide under here, they can't get you under here. You can recoup your stamina and make a mad dash. You can also hide from dogs and forest keepers by climbing up this ladder. You can break line of sight if you're up here from old birds and forest keepers. You could also just use this tile to break line of sight with forest keepers and old birds to begin with. It's kind of like this over here. You could also do the same thing with the ghost girl as well. Lead her up here, jump over, and then she'll have to run all the way around to go get you. It's one of my favorite tiles in the game because there's a lot of outplay potential on this one tile, and Experimentation's outdoor offers you that outplay potential. One other thing about this silo tile is that you are safe from lightning while you're under here, which is pretty neat. Helps with the stormy runs. The third and most common safe way back to the ship is through the fire exit pipe. This is the one that most people already know, and there are two main ways to get onto this pipe. First one is both of them involve jumping up onto this railing right here. First one is to just jump directly onto the pipe from here. You can do it with a decent amount of weight. I've done it with the cash register. I don't think you can do it with the gold bar, but if anyone wants to test that, go for it. And if you have multiple inventories of stuff, you can just drop your items here and then jump back onto the staircase and repeat. The second way is to jump up here. I like just facing the pipe and then jumping to the right and holding right. You'll hit the little top bar right here, and end up landing on this part, and you can just kind of walk over and fall. I think that one's a little bit safer or easier to do. You won't die if you miss these jumps once, but you will die if you miss it twice, so don't miss twice. Once you have all your scrap items over here, you're going to want to shuttle them as close to the ship as you can. So we'll go do that real quick. So you want to run right to about here where this telephone pole is, and choose a spot to drop your items. I like dropping the items by the scaffolding here, just so you have a visual, you and your teammates will have a visual indicator of where they should be looking for the scrap at the bottom. There. I don't like jumping down there. What I like doing is I like jumping onto this telephone pole here and then letting my stamina recoup before going down. The reason why I like doing this, because it makes me just that much closer to the ship, and sometimes that extra distance is what you need to make it back with whatever stamina you have. But yeah, this is where the items will be. You also don't take damage falling down from there, but taking fall damage at this point in the game to avoid outdoor entities doesn't really matter, because all the outdoor entities here will kill you in one hit anyway, except for the old bird missiles. But if the old bird grabs you, then you're dead too. The fourth and least common way back to the ship, which is only relevant now that old birds and forest keepers can spawn on the map now, is to go left of the main entrance and kind of using these hills to break line of sight and make it back to the ship. Because the other part of the map is pretty open. Forest keep, like the only way you can break line of sight over there really is by using the silo tile. But even then, if the old birds and forest keepers start tracking you that way, you don't have much to play around. Whereas on this side, you just have to make a slight dash over to this rock when the forest keeper and old bird isn't looking. And then now you have all this to play with. You have that hill, you have this hill. Ideally, you can just make it here without any issue. And then boom, you have the ship right here on this side. You can go up this ladder right here. If you can't go there, you can go under the ship and be safe from forest keepers and old birds. You can climb the ladder from underneath right here. There's a lot of outplay there, and if for some reason the old bird and forest keeper follows you back here, you can also just go into this little warehouse thing and they won't be able to get you. They won't be able to get you on this side, and you can exit through the other side and make your play. Yep. That one's only relevant now that old birds and forest keepers can be here, so it's a good one to keep in mind in the small % chance that you have to deal with them here. That's all the basic information you'll need for an experimentation run, so let's go into some of the more advanced, niche, and fun stuff to do on this moon. NBs. So when landing on experimentation, you want to check if there are any bees that spawn by scanning as soon as the seed loads in and scanning again when you hear the door open, because the first number that shows up was the number 10, will be the number of scrap items that appear on the moon, including the apparatus. So on this moon, there are 9 scrap items plus 1 apparatus, and then if the number changes on the second scan, then that indicates how many beehives there are on the map. So let's say this changed from 10 to 12, that means that there would have been 2 beehives on the map. Obviously on this one there weren't any beehives, but even without them I think we can demonstrate where you should run the beehives on this moon. Now for experimentation, let's say you drop a beehive right here. I like picking them up here and jumping, and rather than dropping back here, I like dropping them by this ladder here, because in my experiences, dropping beehives on this part of the ship and running this way makes it so that the bees lose track of where the beehive is. That routing works on Val and March and Adamance, but it does not work on experimentation or assurance. So I recommend dropping the bees right here on the ladder, so that way when the bees eventually do path up right around here, they will find the beehive and not give you any problems. I'm not sure if the Wurps drop works for experimentation very well here. I haven't tried it. I'm not really good at the Wurps jump. Wow, okay, and I just end up doing it right away for demonstration purposes. Maybe I'll try it in a different run, but if you leave your beehives right here, you'll be good. Another notable hive running thing is that if for some reason you can't bring your beehive to this hill, at least from the other side, which it can be a case on a flooded experimentation, sometimes the water around here is hard to deal with, you can run a beehive around this hill, around this way, and then you can reach the hill from this side. I did that in my most recent Golden Man trio run with Shirt and Nico, So if you want to go see an example of that, you can go watch that video over there. A quick note on ladders. If this ladder ends up being blocked, you can go up that ladder over there. If both ladders end up being blocked, there's another ladder farther down. There's a ladder on that side. Just a bunch of ladders along this wall. These two aren't the only two ladders. And if for some reason you want to go over this fence without jumping, you can go over to this thing right here and walk right over it, just in case anyone wants to do a no jump run. The reason why I'm making this video in the first place is because of this next tech here. Instead of going all the way up to the fire exit, you can jump on this railing, and if you aim right where the wall meets the floor, you can actually enter the fire exit from down here. It's a little bit faster than actually just going all the way up. And yeah, it's my new favorite experimentation tech. Oops. Shoutouts to TetrisCat66 for showing me this. Yeah, just right there. And it's a nice little thing. That's the fastest way to get into the fire exit. If you want to get down from the fire exit, you're gonna want to drop your items off the railing right here for fast retrieval. And then there are two main ways down. First way that most people have done before is just jumping on this telephone pole right here. And when you fall down, you won't take any damage. The second way I think is more fun, and it's the one that I've been doing since day 2 basically. And it was the very first advanced experimentation tech I'd seen in the game, which is pretty exciting. You just kind of jump off to the left through the pillar and you'll land on this thing right here, and then you can fall off and not take any damage. Gets the same thing done as the pole. It's just a little bit easier because you don't have to aim it at all. You just have to full send into the wall and make it. And then fastest way to get up to the ladder portion, instead of running all the way around that way, you can just jump on this wall right here. You'll get stuck and you jump again. You'll make it over. There is a secret area on this moon. You want to go to the fire exit pipe, and instead of going down towards the ship, you're going to want to go over this way. You'll see that there's a little opening right there on the wall. And when you're lined up with the opening, you're going to want to crouch down and put this right in the center of the pipe, which is basically the highest point of the pipe. And run and just jump straight into this opening. And yeah, there's a little secret area back here. Nothing really practical here, but it is cool. Like, there's like an open area. There's an invisible staircase here. You'll just be able to run into different walls, and I think it like just wraps up and around like this. You'll eventually reach the bottom, and instead of going all the way back around to go back out, you can just run all the way this way, and you can actually enter the main entrance from this secret area as well. So yeah, there's the main entrance. You can actually see into this area from the main entrance if you just kind of peek into it from the other side. Yes, but yeah, you can enter from here. You can scare your friends if you really want to or something, because they'll try to enter and they won't know how to. Yeah, you can use it like normal, and you can actually see into it there from the outside. So that's kind of cool. Also, for the main entrance, there's like a garage door right here that falls if you pass through it too many times. There's even a sound cue for when it lowers. You'll hear it right now at some point. I'm just crossing over between the metal and the floor here. It's RNG whether or not it'll fall, so it can either fall in one pass or a few passes, or it can take many like it is right now. Of course, it's going to take many on the showcase and just kind of take out some of my workable daylight. I'm being gaslit into this being patched out of the game. Surely it's still here in update 50. I'm watching the clock now. I'm seeing how many in-game hours it takes me to trigger this door. Okay, there. Okay, but I didn't hear the sound that time. But you see the door's lower now. That's crazy, there wasn't a sound. Maybe it's bugged in update 50, I don't know. But yeah, if you keep going, it'll lower to the point where it blocks off the main entrance and you can't use it anymore. See, like it lowered slightly again. I don't even know why I'm committing to this. I think most people already know about this door thing. Well, I guess something to actually note is that while you're up here, you're just completely safe from all outdoor entities except for the old birds. Old birds will fly up here. But sandworms won't come up here, eyeless dogs won't come up here, forest keepers won't come up here. I probably should have said that earlier in the video. Most people who needed that info probably clicked off already. Okay, bro. There. One more. There you go. And see, now you can't even crouch under. You'd have to leave through here, through the main entrance, and go to the fire exit when this happens. Now let's go to where the logs are. If for some reason you want to get the logs on Experimentation, there's one at the top of that water tower up there, and there's one right by that scaffolding on the other end, right there. I'll go actually get them just so I can increase the length of this video. If you like this guide, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, just go to this water tower over here, climb up one of the longest ladders in the game. Shout out to Metal Gear Solid, and you'll find one log right this way. Swing of things. If you jump off this, I'm pretty sure you die. Okay, well I landed on a hill. Oh wait, is there a shortcut? Rock up to the pipe? Question mark? I mean, I probably could have just made it there regularly now, but whatever. The rocks that spawn on Experimentation tend to be pretty scalable. So they're usually fun to check out, just in case. Whether or not I make this jump is a whole other thing, though. Nice. But yeah, just go all the way down, and then there's the other log. Shady. There's the ship, and that's the end of this guide. Mostly made this guide just so I can show that fire exit entrance technique. Shoutouts again to TetrisCat66 for showing me that, and we'll see you all in the next video. Peace.